Sunak and Starmer have both been pathetic on the Gaza war, but there is one party leader who has been showing leadership. It's Scottish First Minister Humza Yousaf.
You spoke to the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak yesterday, reiterating the Scottish Government's calls for a ceasefire to allow more aid into the country. The UK Government not joining your calls at the moment. Neither is the Leader of the Opposition, Sir Keir Starmer. Can I just ask what you make of his position at the moment?
I find it infuriating. We're seeing thousands of people die. Children die. How many more children have to die before a ceasefire is called for? I mean, we're calling for a ceasefire. I cannot understand Sir Keir Starmer's position. I cannot understand the Prime Minister's position. And I ask them, how many more children have to die before you join us and join many across the world, including the United Nations, and call for that ceasefire? Call all parties, not just one party here, call on all parties to commit to a ceasefire for the sake of those innocent children who are suffering so badly.
Now, as I'm sure you know by now, Humza Yousaf has his mother-in-law is in Gaza. We've sort of seen videos from her on sort of previous shows. So that's one reason he's talking about this so powerfully. It seems odd to me that Starmer thinks it's too controversial to say that. I mean, let alone Sunak. I mean, Sunak should be calling for that as well. Obviously, there are many people in the British establishment who seem to want to give Israel as much leeway as possible to achieve their war aims, which seem to be as much destruction as possible of the Palestinian people in Gaza. And I think this is important when it comes to the ceasefire, actually, because what you keep hearing from supporters of Israel is to say, no, to call for a ceasefire would be what Hamas want, because it would allow them to sort of reorganize and to sort of refuel so that when the actual war comes, they're going to be prepared. Now, that to me just seems completely implausible, right? Hamas knew this was coming, right? Israel didn't. Israel didn't know what was going to happen on the 7th of October, but Hamas did. And I think they would have prepared for this, right? So they got miles and miles of tunnels under Gaza. They would have made sure that there is enough there for, military refueling or whatever. I think they've probably got their soldiers in the right place. Do you know what I mean? These guys were planning for this. So why would a pause, which would presumably allow Israel to sort of reorganize, etc., why would that be such a problem for Israel? Well, the reason it's a problem is because they want to get all of their war aims done as quickly as possible, because they hope that there won't be enough international pressure by that point to stop them doing a genocide. You heard what they were saying immediately after the October 7th attack. They wanted to go into Gaza, kill as many people as possible, push as many people out to Egypt as possible, and essentially take over the land, right? Now, they've had to step back from that because, Egypt said, we're not going to allow this to happen. We're not going to allow you to put Gazans into the Sinai Peninsula, part of Egypt, where Israel wanted them to go. And then, international pressure because of protests on the street, that sort of mounts, gets more powerful. So the longer Israel take with this, the harder it's going to be for them to completely override any sense of international law. Why anyone would say, okay, yeah, that does seem like a problem for Israel. Let's let them do this as quickly as possible. No, the only thing doing this as quickly as possible allows for is for more war crimes to be done, is for more people to be massacred. There's not a military reason here. There's a political reason. They want this done quickly so that they can do it under as little pressure, with as little people seeing what they're doing as possible. So the idea that, we shouldn't have a ceasefire so they can wipe out Hamas is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All you are doing is covering for people who want to do their dirty work quickly. And by dirty work, what I mean is killing thousands and thousands of Palestinians, which they're already doing.